at that time did not have so much of information which was conveyed to the selection committee.
Okay.
But nowadays, a lot of information is going, your personal information, your family background and economic background, social background, your education and all that. So the basic idea is to know whatever you have already indicated. But
Okay, so welcome to this special edition of Open Floor with Nihshank, and today I have with us Mr. Nawal Srivastav. He's an IRAS officer who's been into 32 years of service for this country. So before we jump into anything else and I ask you questions, do you have any opening comments to make as to coming on this show?
To introduce myself, I am Nawal Srivastav. I belong to the Civil Services, Indian Civil Services, Indian Railway Account Service, precisely. And I have been working with Indian Railways for last 32 years. During my long career, I have had experiences outside the railways also. I have worked for a year in the Department of Telecom, Government of India.
Okay.
And I also had a 1-year tenure in the CAG office, that's Controller and Auditor General.
Right. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I have worked there also. That's a very brief introduction about my career.
Yes, absolutely, sir, absolutely. And it's great that you're on the show. I'm really happy to have you here. And sir, okay, so 32 years before you gave this examination called UPSC, and it has evolved so much with time. What difference do you see on a personal level when you see aspirants today compared to you going back like 30 to 32 years before when you became one?
As you have rightly said that the competition has become tougher and tougher as the days have passed on. Competition was tough even during our time when we were preparing and we took that exam. It was at that time also it was quite difficult exam. And today I can say that the Indian Civil Service exam is the toughest exam in the world.
Yeah, one
It's
of the toughest, surely.
Really very, very difficult, but there is nothing to get disheartened for the young aspirants, I will say, because the basic mantra for taking up any competitive exam is to do your job, do the hard work, and be sincere to your objectives. That's the basic thing. There is nothing like I can make it or I cannot make it. If you are hardworking and reasonably good student, it is always possible to succeed in life. And as I have always said, that there is nothing which you cannot achieve, but there is nothing without which you cannot live. So take it that way.
Absolutely.
Take it that way.
No, that's a brilliant thought. Yes, sir, definitely. I mean, obviously, you can't get so disheartened, but it has its, competitive exam has its own repercussions in terms of the impact it can cause mentally. Okay, sir, but, while you were giving your examination, was there something in your mind that कि मुझे ये ऐसे करके प्रिपेयर करना है या ये चीजें मैं ऐसे कैरेक्टराइज कर लूं तो मेरे लिए ज्यादा आसान हो जाएगा? Something that the aspirants can follow even today and that can help them ease their practice.
What I will say is that the methods of studies and the syllabus and all those things have also changed over a period of time.
Right.
Like I will quote that there was no essay paper during our time. Now there is an essay paper. So for writing a long essay, you have to be very comprehensive and you have to know the topic in greater detail. Those things were not there during our times. But basic preparation methods should remain same. During our time, we did not have the access to all the kind of technology and the internet accesses and all those things. So we were basically the library going students, searching the journals, searching the books, all those things were there. The preparation methods were slightly different.
Yeah.
But today, I can say that because of those things during our times, the success percentage of the bigger cities were much higher.
Yeah.
But now, if you see the different composition of the candidates who make it to the civil services, it broad-based actually.
Right.
The
Right.
small town people are coming. That's a very good sign for this
Yeah.
country actually.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
Yes. Yes.
really, really wonderful to see a lot of remote location students doing extremely well.
Right. No, no, right. Now, the fact that you have actually pointed at it also sort of indicates that it should be, diverse in terms of the success rate as well. Because why focus it to one state or two states, or even just the big cities, as you said. So, but sir, in general, like a lot of courses in the market, and there is a lot of hodgepodge in terms of this is your guide to UPSC and this is the hack to UPSC. Like, apart from hard work, do you genuinely think that there is any other way to working smart around solving this or acing this paper of
Yes,
the civil service?
I will say that today you have to be really smart to approach the exam, because as you have rightly said that there are lots of materials, lots of access to the websites, and which is available to the students. So one small what I can the opinion I can give that if you are preparing for some specific subject or a specific topic, you will find that if you search Google, there are n number of uh, guidance you can get.
Right.
But it's not necessary that you focus on all those things, because you will be ultimately will be wasting time on doing the same thing again and again and again. So what is important is you have to actually shortlist the best possible in your opinion, which you can understand. I'm not saying that the materials which you are, or the guidance which you are leaving out, those are not good. But it may happen that the way of narrating those things can suit to one particular individual. Some other individual may understand it in some other way. I will just
Right.
give you an
Right.
example that I was an economics student,
Okay.
and I had economics as a paper in civil services exam also.
Yeah.
In economics, we explain any of the theories in two, three different manners. Like
Yeah.
one, you narrate it in your language, you write, then you make a graphical presentation, and then you make a mathematical presentation. There are three ways of approaching any question. So you can select which one suits you best. So
Okay.
same way it goes today. You have really rightly said that there are lots of material. In fact, I was
Right.
also I am very close to the academics, so I keep looking
Yeah.
on those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I find that on the same topic there are a number of materials there. So you have to be very
Right.
selective, because
Right.
ultimately same content, if you keep studying from two, three, four, five sources, what happens that you waste time on studying those things, while the value addition is very limited. So you have to see what time, how much value addition vis-a-vis the time consumed for those things is, that's very critical, because
Right.
everybody has got that limited time space in within which
Yes.
you have to
Yes.
prepare.
Yes.
So you have to
Yes.
be
Yes.
selective. Today
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to be really selective.
Right, right, right. And filtering out material in terms of not only, the best, or whatever they say out in the market is the best, but also what is relatable to you, and what
Yes.
you understand better. That is what you're trying to say. Absolutely, sir. I agree with that. And sir, apart from this, we talked about the exam. What about your journey, sir? It's been 32 years. It's it's no small feat. And how has it been, like, if you had to sort of narrate your experience in short, was it everything when you were applying to UPSC? Was it everything that you dreamt of, कि यार this job is वैसा only जैसा मैं सोच के आया था, या it is different, even more challenging? Like, how has it been?
see, See, everybody who takes up the civil service exam, he or she aspires to be an IAS officer. There is
Okay.
no two way. There is no two thought about that.
All
It's
right.
very clear.
All right.
When I also took the exam and my friends took the exam, we also thought that we'll become IAS. But some people make it, some people don't make it. Doesn't make anybody more intelligent or less
Less
intelligent.
intelligent.
It's not
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
But what is important is that whatever you get, you accept it and then move on. I will say that I chose railway service because from my very childhood, I was very fascinated with the railway system,
Yeah.
because we used to travel from Delhi to my home place, Patna, every year, twice, thrice. So I was very fascinated with the Indian railway system. So when I got the opportunity to choose a service which I thought that I would enjoy, I chose railways over other services like income tax and audit accounts and other
Right.
services. And I will say that my journey has been beautiful. I have been uh,
Yes.
reasonably, I have been able to contribute to my organization in whatever limited way I could. And it has been a fascinating journey. I have been given opportunity by the Indian Railways to see the entire country. I have been posted in lot many places,
Yes.
so those things give
Yes.
you experiences, and then you encounter different culture. That's the
Right.
beauty of our country. So
Right.
Indian Railways, I will say that is it's entire society, and I'm pretty satisfied. I will say that whatever God gave me, I have
Yes.
accepted it with both hands, and I'm
Right.
very happy with whatever.
Yes.
My
Yes,
journey
sir.
has been beautiful, and
Yes.
Indian Railways is a beautiful organization, and it does have a lot to contribute to the nation building, and it has always done that to the nation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Railway forms an integral part, and I feel that you're just being humble by saying that you've just made limited contribution. I think your contribution to the railway sector has been insane. But okay, sir. So there was this quote, from an IAS officer, and I asked this question before also. Like you said, you've been through multiple cities. They say that in the civil services, transfer is like death; it's inevitable. And I believe in the Hindu philosophy, so I'll be reborn again. So how is it like felt? Does it also apply to an IRAS officer? And like how is it felt, in terms of the transfer throughout different cities? Like what has been your major takeaway
The
from?
transfer, see, when you join a service which is of all India nature, you are right from day one, you are mentally prepared to be a part of the entire country's domain of your organization. And transfers have been part of the almost all the civil service people. I have come across a lot of my friends are in other services. They have also seen the same days, and I will say that it's not a death nail for anybody in service. You take
No.
it as it comes,
Yeah.
and if you take it in a more positive manner,
Yeah.
it it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Only what I will say that part of a little bit of negative part of transfer is that if you have got some personal issues attached to your service,
Yeah.
attached to your family, so or something like that, then obviously sometimes it happens that transfers are not convenient, I will say,
Right.
but then you have to live with it,
Yeah.
and you have to accept the challenge.
Yeah.
And I will say that the young aspirants, we find that the younger officers who are joining now, most of them are actually both spouses working. So
Okay.
when
Okay.
both these forces are working in civil services, you will have a different kind of challenge which will come across, and you have to accept it in a more sporting manner. Transfers
Absolutely.
will remain part of your career,
Yeah.
and nobody should take it negative. I
No.
personally say that I have
Absolutely.
never
Absolutely.
taken transfer. I rather
Right.
enjoy. I say that if I am
Yeah.
not here, I would like to go to Guwahati. I would like to go to, let's say,
Right. Right.
Chennai, so that I can see many other places also.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That has been my approach actually. That
Absolutely,
has been my
absolutely.
approach.
No, absolutely. And the statement also sort of tries to hint at this only, that like death, it is sort of inevitable. Like you can't really escape it and you have to enjoy it. So you are reborn again. That is the whole
Yes, yes.
concept. Yeah. Okay. But sir, in respect of, the way you guys are promoted, like you've been for a fair amount of time, you've been into the service. How is the promotion? Like, how does it come along? Is it quicker compared to a normal job, corporate job, or is it like similar? Like how do you feel that it's different in terms of you being promoted and on the type of work you obviously do
See, it is very difficult to compare a government job with
with a
a
corporate?
corporate
Yes,
job,
yes, yes.
because it's basically comparing apple with oranges.
Orange, yeah.
Both have got their own merits, and both have got their own demerits.
Demerits, yeah.
Yeah, both have got equal. Like in government sector, you have a security, job security,
Yeah,
which probably little bit it lacks in the corporate sector.
corporate,
But
absolutely.
obviously in corporate, your growth is exponential. If you
Okay.
are good, very good,
Yeah,
then you can grow faster,
yeah,
and you can jump the queue.
yeah.
In the government service, I will
There's
say
no.
that is more hierarchical, and it is structured. Your
Okay.
promotions are more structured
Okay.
in government service, and it happens normally to most of the people without having any detrimental impact on their career. It happens in a more time-bound
Right.
manner. I can speak for
Right.
the civil services. It's
Right.
reasonably time-bound.
Yeah.
So and government, I will say that the government of India takes care of its people nicely,
Yeah.
and financially also, if you are working in a good position, then you are financially also secure. And
Okay.
nowadays the pay packages are reasonably good if you are
Okay.
satisfied
All
with
right.
the
All right.
kind of contribution you make. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. And also, given the nature of your service, like, do you guys also get to be part of expert advisory boards, when certain recommendations are being made on ground in terms of any particular policy being implemented? Like, does the government use this class of civil services as an advisory to their respective fields?
It depends on the position which you are holding.
Okay.
See, and the location where you are posted.
Okay.
It depends. If you are posted in ministry, you have a chance of being part of those committees which make
Ah,
recommendations for certain things.
okay.
But what I will say that the structure of the government service is such that wherever you are located, wherever you are posted, you are in a decision making position,
Yeah.
and those decision makings have wider impact. That's
Okay.
the main difference between a private job and a government job. That your
Right.
decisions have got wider implications, so you have to be more
Absolutely.
prudent. And
Absolutely.
here
Absolutely.
we are dealing with public money, so we
Ah,
have to be definitely much more prudent about its use and
yes.
investment.
Yes.
And I will say that I also have some experience of being part of those policy making
Right. Right.
wherever I have been posted. So
Okay.
those things make significant developments in those areas wherever you, because the 3 4 people from different domains coming and then deciding on certain particular policy aspect, it does
Right.
make a lot of difference.
Right.
And people, most of the people do get opportunity. Some people get more, some people get less. It doesn't make much of a difference.
Right.
In
Right. The fact that, sir, you've brought out experience, like, can you share one of such experiences? It could be a good one, it could be a bad one, wherein you found the nature of the job to be both challenging and at the same time fun, in order to carry out that task. Like, you're from your personal experience, if you have something to share.
it does come as a challenge sometimes, because my job profile in the railway system has been to manage the finances of the railways.
Okay.
Presently, I am looking into the investment decisions on the major projects,
Okay.
and these things do come with their own challenges. You have
Okay.
to take position, you have to take a decision,
Okay.
and sometimes it happens that your thought process or your decisions are not in conformity with somebody else.
Right.
So
Right.
those things have to be taken into account. And
Right.
railway being a very large organization and having a very large workforce, managing those workforce is also a challenge. It happens
Right.
that when I used to manage, when I was at lower level in the bureaucracy,
Yeah.
we used to have a lot of challenges managing those workforces.
Right.
Like if something, people say that if you don't pay salary to the loco pilots or people who run the trains, then they will stop the trains. So
Ah.
that cannot be afforded. So you have to make,
Yeah.
you have to, even if those things have to be managed, you have to manage those things. So
Okay.
personally, there have been a lot of those challenges which we have, and most of the people encounter those challenges.
Right.
Any specific, I can't
Recall per
remember
se. Yeah.
offhand. It's very difficult, but
Yeah.
if it comes to my, but I'm in my thinking
Thinking.
mode. If it comes
Yeah.
to my, I'll definitely give it.
Okay. Right, sir. Also, in terms of the cities that you said, no, you get to travel and all of that being brought out into the picture. Sir, how do you feel like every city being different, especially from the perspective of railways? Because you are always constantly managing. Like, is it the same job, even though if you go in a different city, or like a city comes in with its own sort of problems and challenges? or is it that you're just managing the central wala thing, and so it irrespective of the
So
city?
railways broad structure remains same, and our job profile broadly remains same
Okay.
wherever we are posted. But there are then local conditions which drive your work culture, working conditions, and like I was posted in a place called Malda town,
Acha.
which is a
Okay.
very remote district in West Bengal.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I was also posted in Mumbai. I
Okay.
was also posted in Nagpur.
Right.
So the problems of or the challenges in Malda town were entirely different from what you encounter in Mumbai or what you see in Maharashtra or in Nagpur. See, so cities don't make too much of difference in our work system
Okay.
because
Okay.
systems are uniform.
For
This is
railways, yes.
the Indian Railways is an integrated
Right.
organization.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
we have got our own set of
Yeah.
rules,
Yeah.
procedures which have been followed. Cities make little bit of difference in the local adjustment. That is all. Not
Okay.
nothing much.
Right, right. Okay, as being a part of the permanent executive, sir, in terms of policy implications, that you said there can be some times wherein you do not have agreements over certain situation with other officials also, and it also happens that sometimes maybe there is a sort of a deadlock with the government, like the political executive and the permanent executive do not agree over a matter. Then how do you come to bypass that situation and get the job done there? Like if you have an
Uh,
experience to share.
I will say that this question actually will be rightly addressed to an IAS officer
Okay. Okay.
because they deal more with public figures, and
Right.
we have. I personally, or in railways also, we see that
Yeah.
we do not encounter such kind of situations of a
Okay.
conflict. I was talking about the conflict within the organization,
Okay.
among the colleagues, among the people.
Right.
And then after that, you have to see that what is the organizational goal. We are here not to stop the thing, but to make the things work.
Absolutely. Work smoother.
That is the primary objective of organization is work. Actually.
Okay.
So your question will be rightly addressed to a person who has dealt with
Okay,
those.
okay. No, but like my question is in terms of, let's say there is, there is always a railway ministry, there is a railway minister also that he's looking after everything. And then there's some sort of policy agenda that is there on paper and that needs to be implemented. But as you being an executive, you find that these are the challenges, that will come in the execution in the way which the political executive wants this thing to get executed. Under that aspect, if there is a strife, like then how do you come about a conclusion there?
Yeah, it does happen sometimes that the some things are there, but I will say that we are very fortunate to be part of the Indian railway system, which is very structured, very organized,
Okay.
and
All
our
right.
rules and procedures are there. And I will say that in I am in the finance side,
Yeah.
and in finance railways, in within railway organization, finance has got a lot of respect.
Right.
If we say that this is financially not
Yes.
looking viable or
Yeah.
financially not justified, then
Yes.
we are heard. I will
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that we are heard and people
Yeah.
respect our views. That's the
Absolutely.
beauty of Indian Railway organization actually, and
Right.
we have a lot of freedom. Means if our boss, let's say that we have a general manager who is our administrative head,
Right.
he will request, he will instruct or direct us to do certain things. We also try to find ways how to get things done because
Right.
they also take decision which is in the interest of the organization. So we are
Yeah.
also we do not want to be the stumbling blocks.
Okay.
But if it comes right in the way of following the rules and procedures, we do put it on, and then most of the time it is respected.
Okay.
So those things, those conflicts are rare. If it
Right.
happens at the ministry level in the ministry,
Yeah.
I do not have the experience of working in the railway
Okay.
ministry particularly, so
Yeah.
I won't be
All
able
right. No, no, definitely. That makes a lot of sense, sir. Okay. Especially, sir, we'll jump back to the aspirants also because you talk about being touched with the academic side, and obviously, you've managed to ace the examination yourself. Sir, in terms of that, one common mistake that you feel and analyzed over the years that an aspirant can make, especially in terms of preparation, because there are certain times you feel that you're going on the right track, but the results do not show up. Like, so what is that gap? How can you bridge that gap that is created for an aspirant? Like, do you have any insights to share on that?
What I will say is that the aspirant should look for a right kind of strategy to prepare. What I have found, I have interacted with a few of the
Right.
aspirants
Yeah.
candidate. In fact, my wife is a professor, so she
Oh,
is seeking
okay.
guiding a lot of our students
Yeah.
in this direction. So
Yeah.
we find that majority of the students, I will say that we find that they seem underconfident about their own abilities. We try to
Ah,
encourage them. Yeah, you try. If
okay.
unless until you try, you will not know whether you can make it or not. So those underconfidence has to go away. Even
Right.
some people show a lot of overconfidence also.
Okay.
Like, okay, I'm very like
I know
I will say that
everything.
I'm very tech savvy, so I
Yeah.
can do anything. It's not
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
So one right strategy I will say is that hard work has got no substitute.
Right.
you
Right. Right.
have
Yeah.
to you have to put in the hours actually,
Absolutely.
and if you put in the hours with full sincerity, then it is possible for anybody, I am saying anybody
Yeah.
who is a reasonably good student and has the ability or capability to work hard can make it. But they need certain direction also, I will say that,
Right.
because of the very high competition today. I
Absolutely.
say that they need little bit of direction is also required, because sometimes I find that some of the students are not preparing in the right direction. They do
Direction.
not know
Yeah.
how to see.
Yeah.
The prelims exam is a very wide exam. It's a open-ended kind of exam. Any kind of questions are coming now.
Yeah.
Now you don't know how to prepare, what to prepare actually.
Okay.
So you have to be slightly, you have to learn to take directions, how to prepare for those things, how to
Okay.
approach the questions. You may be knowing the answer, but you may not be able to put the correct answer because you have
Right.
not so understanding the subject and then bringing it out in
Right.
your performance is very
Performance.
critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little bit
Absolutely.
of direction is required, I will say
Okay.
that.
And sir, how is it like? There are a lot of institutes. One institute, 100 institutes. Teach UPSC today.
Yes,
Like there
yes.
are millions of institutes. I don't know the exact number, but there must be a lot, especially in terms of whatever I've seen personally. Sir, how do when you say that you need the right guidance, like how do you figure out कि यार ये जो है ये अच्छी ये सही guidance दे रहे हैं मुझे? Like how do you understand that? That is very difficult to figure out. So
That's not an easy thing.
yeah.
But see, civil services exam preparation is more of gathering as much information and knowledge as you can.
Right. Right.
So numbers are important.
Huh.
Knowing many things are important
Yeah.
from diverse field.
Huh.
So you have to look for those people who are actually providing you more information
Right.
in a more structured form.
Right. Right. Right.
Any
Right. Right.
information which is unstructured is going to waste your time.
Time. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And I will advise the aspirant student to look into the law, the blogs or other write-ups of the successful candidates. I have had
Right.
a chance to look at those things.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
provide the toppers have provided a lot of
Credible
guidance
information.
how they have
Absolutely.
how they have approached the exam.
Right. Right.
Actually,
Right.
that's very critical. The new aspirant should look into those things also.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Yes.
not
Definitely.
important that you only go for the coaching and the coaching classes all the time. You go to the coaching class because coaching classes have got their own, I will say, capacity to
Yeah. Yeah.
translate their teaching into your performance. Actually, they
Right.
do
Right.
make it, but there has to be limitation on
No, absolutely, absolutely. Now that you pointed it out, it makes a lot of sense in general also because time being very critical to competitive examinations, one of the most crucial components. Okay, sir, but you talked about prelims. There is mains also, and then there is this interview round. A lot of filtering happens there also, and especially when you're facing that board. What did you personally do? Or that you felt went right for your interview round, and what is that one advice you can give to people who like cross through the prelims and mains and then go to the interview round? Like this thing you should keep in your mind while you're sitting in front of that bunch of people who are interviewing you.
it. Approaching the interview is very, very critical actually. and whatever forms you fill up, there nowadays there are a lot of forms which are getting filled up by the candidate before they are called for the interview. So you have to be very careful what you are actually filling. Because from my experience, we did not have at that time did not have so much of information which was conveyed to the selection committee.
Okay.
But nowadays a lot of information is going, your personal information, your family background and economic background, social background, your education and all that. So the basic idea is to know whatever you have already indicated. But I say that during my interview, I had indicated, let's say that cricket is one of my favorite sports.
Yeah.
So I was asked in the interview board. I was given a piece of paper and a pencil, and I was told by the one of the members that you please draw a cricket field here, draw the wickets, and then he asked me to draw all the fielding positions. So I had to draw it there in the interview board. So if you do not know the nitty-gritties and the details of the cricket, you won't be able to do. So if I had written cricket, I should be knowing all those things. That's important. And you should be confident when you approach those questions. And one important part is that there is you don't get any advantage if you try to answer wrongly. If they no shame in saying that you do not know the answer.
Yeah.
You be very clear that I'm sorry, I'm not aware about this. Because then they move on. If you end up making a mistake, then you get caught there itself. So that's important.
No, even the IAS officer Abhishek sir came before this, and he said the same thing, that people, when they don't even know the answer, they try to sometimes bypass the interview or the selection committee, thinking that I'll try to manage around it, but there is where they mess up, and that is one thing which
you don't create answer. If you know, you know.
Yes.
Create it.
Right. Don't try to outsmart them and create it on spot.
They are experienced people. They are much smarter than you.
Yes, I acknowledge that, at least for sure. Yes. Okay, sir. We'll sort of round up the interview now. Okay, I've asked a lot of questions that even the aspirants had, and in terms of perks, sir, how do you like? There are obviously one part while everyone is preparing is that they understand that a lot of perks also come in with this sort of examination. And sir, how does firstly, what are like sort of the perks with respect to an IRAS officer, even though it's available on board, like on Google and everything, you can still look it out. But still, I want to hear it from, having a personal thing is different from whatever is there on internet. Also, sir, how do you feel that, do these perks change over time with, with promotion? How do these perks change? And what is the impact sort of created?
You mean the perks? You mean to say that the facilities attached to the job?
Yeah, right.
Okay, there are certain perks attached to each service.
Yeah.
They differ. Like in railways, we get very good housing accommodation. Even if you are posted in Mumbai, you get a nice flat in South Mumbai, Kulava area, which a private person probably will only dream of. Even at 3 years of your service, you can get a nice flat in Kulava area.
Right.
Delhi, you get near Connaught Place,
right.
Chanakyapuri, all these places. So those perks are attached. And in addition to that, there are certain other perks which are available, like you get a vehicle after a certain time. But these things change over a period. Every service has got a different kind of what I will say that models or modules which they provide. Like IS people have got different, it varies from the nature of job you perform. See, an assistant collector or additional collector will definitely have a more requirement for moving into the field rather than a person who has a more office job like an assistant commissioner income tax.
Right.
So perks vary from service to service. Railways they do take care of their officers nicely. We have certain perks which,
all right. No, that's perfect. That's the sort of answer we're looking forward to also. Okay, sir, on this note, we're coming to closing the meeting. And before we end this, how did you feel coming to the show? I just asked it random.
It has been a real pleasure for me to share my experience with you.
Right, sir.
And I will say that it's a great initiative you are taking, because you take it forward, and then if we can, I will say that even if I can make one particular aspirant a success, it will be a success of yours more than mine. But our interaction, I really enjoyed my interaction with you, and I
Okay. Okay,
wish you
sir.
all the best
All of
in your
this I'll
endeavor,
play on
because
loop. The part where you have praised me, I'll play this on loop. Like this, I'll make the teaser of my channel. All right, no, no.
it's a great
Thank you
initiative.
so much for your kind words, sir. And it is obviously a pleasure. It's insane. I started with that only. That 32 years into, especially the job you're doing. I think it's amazing. A lot of people can only dream of achieving what you have achieved, and especially in terms of even railways, like you said, everyone wants to. A lot of people actually want to be an IAS officer first, but then you get IRAS, and then you manage it out so well. And with respect to the financial board that you headed, I wish you all the best in terms of whatever you're doing. And that is it. That is the point where we'll end the show, and I'll stop the recording. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here
Thank you,
today.
Nishan. Thank you very
Yes.
much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.